This is a BSW200 light that I was very generously sent by Betopper. It arrived like 3 days ago and I'm keen to crack it open. Oh, exciting. We've got a safety cable, smaller clamp, DMX cable, PowerCon cable. We've also got this kind of lens cloth with a cool Betopper logo on it. Looks kind of retro. User manual and the light itself. So this is the second Betopper light that I've got. Well, actually the third technically, because I've also got a couple of LM0740s. And so here is one of them. I can't put it flush on the table because I've got the clamp on it. The BSW200, a little bit bigger than the LM0740, but you know, pretty much the same size. And here's the front of the BSW200 just so that you can see the comparison. Okay, so I'm here with my Wolfmix. My hair is a bit longer. We're gonna dive in and have a look at some of the things that this light can do. So we'll switch it on and we'll head into the live edit settings on the Wolfmix. Live edit on the Wolfmix is where you can really get into the DMX values and configure the light and create presets that take advantage of the power of the light. If you don't do that, then you're really just relying on like the color effects and the beam effects that the Wolfmix can do. So we want to go to live edit and we want to go to a new slot and we'll choose Betopper BSW200 1. Betopper BSW200 2 is actually where we change the ring lights settings, but we want to go into this one here. So we'll click edit. First off, let's have a look at how to change it from a spot to a wash. So that's in the frost setting here, which is number 14. And if we change that value past, I think it's 128. Yep. Then we change it from the spot to the wash. All right, color wheel settings. We'll just cycle through a few colors there. There's our red, green, etc. Okay. Colors. So I've turned the lights out and introduced a little bit of haze to the room. Let's dive into the prism effect, which I think is really cool. So we'll go to prism and basically put it past 128 and we get the light divided into 3 lights. And then we can go to prism rotate and that's pretty fast. I like to rotate. I like lights in general just to be kind of slow. All right, there we go. That's cool. And if we put a gobo on with that, then we get that cool effect, especially when you have haze. You can see the lights kind of dividing and just splitting through the shadows there. It's really nice. Okay, we'll turn that gobo off. Let's put it onto a wash. I'm not sure how well that shows up on the camera, but if we do a wash with some rotating prisms, we get this awesome kind of calm ocean effect, which I'm a huge fan of. And if we adjust the zoom, it can make it a little bit more obvious and the focus. There, that's nice. Now we'll put it back into a spot and we'll have a look at some gobos quickly. I'm not a huge fan of how the gobos look actually on the surface that it's projecting to, but when you see the gobo patterns cut through the haze, that's really nice. So I think these two gobo patterns look the nicest in that respect. And that's awesome. So I've made some live edit presets for the light. I've got a wash. So if I'm making full lighting presets, I don't have to do all that and go into the DMX settings. I can just hit wash or spot and wash and spot and do it like that. And I've got the prism rotate setting in there. I like that, so I've set that. Just like a gobo, you know. I've got that setting so we can get that nice hazy kind of split light effect. I've got a preset where I can change the LED to pink because I like that. And then I've got one that I've called Ocean Dynamic. Now, I did actually manage to take the light down to a wedding, but unfortunately the setup, the room for the wedding wasn't ideal, and I hadn't really had a chance to play with the light settings, but you can see the light in action there. But let's take it outside to my deck to see how it works in concert with my full setup. I've set up these lights as I would have them set up at a gig in my backyard. So I'm pretty happy with it. We've got the Betopper LM0740s up here as my main moving heads. And then I've got a couple of wash lights on the side from Beamz. And at the bottom, we've got the BSW200 just acting as a backlight and kind of a spotlight that can point at the roof for me, or a wash that can contrast with all of these things. So I've got everything in white. I'll put it all on. That looks so good. One of my favorite things about the LM0740s is this side B effect, which just separates the lights and just creates this really fun kind of, BI effect over the dance floor. Oh, it turns into a nice wash effect. So we've got a spotlight, we've got a wash, we've got gobos, we've got the LED ring. Everything is happening with this light. I'm going to turn off the lights and we'll have a look at what it all looks like. And I just love that I can choose between the atmospheric wash or this spot. That's cool. So all up, I'm very happy with this light. It's an extremely versatile light, and it's going to replace the two par lights that are behind me, which will take a much shorter time for me to set up. And my whole lighting show is just going to look a lot more dynamic now. If you do want to buy this light, check out the link in the description. Click that and I'll get a little kickback from it, and that'll be good for both of us.